Let's see. All right, cool. So let me get that screen back up because it just disappeared. All righty. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our team call. I'm super stoked to have you here. I wanted to welcome all of our May coaches for the month of May. If your name is up here, welcome to the team. We're so excited to have you here. And if this is your first call, I'm going to really quickly run through these. I know we do these every week, but like I said, repetition is key to success because it takes you a couple times to hear something before it really clicks. So the first thing that you're going to do as a brand new coach is you are going to start your challenge and get yourself some results like it's your job, because it is your job to get results as a coach. You're here working on your own journey, and therefore you're going to be showing people that the products work, these programs are legit, and your excitement for what you're doing. And as you see your body change, that's what's going to help you share this with authenticity and not just talk about something that you really have no idea about. So some things that we do every day: we practice the vital behaviors. We are proof that the products work, which goes back to getting yourself some results. We connect with other people that we know, that we are meeting. We're building new relationships every single day, and we're inviting them to be a part of this awesome community that we have. We are also following up with them, because the fortune's in the follow-up. It's important that you have a system for following up with people when you invite them, just checking back in. You know, everyone's busy. Sometimes they'll miss your messages, so it's important that you're doing that. We also help people get results. So as we're getting ourselves results, we are helping other people do the same, getting them plugged into our challenge groups and supporting them on their journey. And then we're doing personal development. So whether you're reading, listening to a podcast, or an audiobook, whatever it is that you're doing, it's two things: personal and it's development. So it's for you, and you are applying it to your business. You're asking yourself questions like, how can I apply this to my business? How can I share this with someone? Who can I share this with? How can I share this with my team? Different things like that. Now, as a brand new coach and as a coach in general, it is your goal to hit Success Club every single month. This is something that you want to get into a habit of doing. I know myself, I have never missed a month of Success Club since I've signed up as a coach. I know our guest speaker tonight, as well as every other person who has talked to you guys on the team calls, have hit Success Club consistently every single month. So Success Club is important. It's something that creates consistency in your business. It shows people that you are helping people, that this is a legit thing. And you get your shakes covered. Like, I've never paid for my shakes ever. And then you're going to start to create residual income by doing that. So whether you're here to build a six-figure business or you're here to just pay for your shakes, hitting Success Club is key. Obviously, if you're in the six-figure business goal category, you'll be helping more than 3 people every single month. But it starts with 3. And then once you help 3, even once you help your first person, you're going to feel like so much more confident in yourself, and you're going to be able to continue to help more people after that. And then the first rank that you are pushing for as a brand new coach is Emerald. It's only 2 people. If you're helping 3 in your first month, you'll hit that in a day, or immediately. You know, 2 of those 3 people can be 2 coaches. And you can reach out to your coach and ask her more about that, why it's important and all of that. But the biggest reason why is you get to unlock another stream of income called Team Cycle Bonus, which you'll see in a little bit. So it's really important to get there as soon as possible so you can take advantage of that. And then as far as what to do, just make sure that you're following your new coach launch plan, which is given to you by your coach. They have a set of onboarding steps for you to follow. Get on a call with your coach, hop on team calls. If you're here, you're doing the right thing, and duplicate that. So share what you're doing with your team so that they can also have the same kind of success that you're having. All right, speaking of success, our Success Club leaders for the month of May so far locked in. We have myself, Erica Dietz, Christy Kako, Samantha Laird, Savannah Shepler, and Natalie Balsamo. And on the board, we have Allison. I'm just going to do first names because there's a lot. Allison, Amy, Audrey, Carly, Cassandra, CJ, Emily, Emmy, Hannah, Holly, Jenna, Jenny, Catherine, Katie, Mackenzie, Marielle, Morgan, Nikisha, Nicole, Rachel, Rebecca, Samantha, Sarah, Sydney, and Whitney. Sarah with an H, Sarah with an A. All right, and as a team, we have helped 45 people in the month of May so far, and it's only been 12 days, so that's really awesome. All right, our top volume leader of the week is Savannah Shepler with, I got to move you guys over, 376 TV points. And also on the board, we have Morgan, Emmy, Samantha, Sydney, Carolyn. Well, that's me, duh. Natalie, there's other Carolyns on the team. So. Natalie, Michelle, Shelby, Allison, Cassandra, Carolyn Walker, Janetta, Taylor, Marielle, and Alexandria. All right, our leaderboard, we have our coach of the week, Robin Robillard. She is crushing it. She's signing up coaches, building her team, and her coaches are building their teams too. So I wanted to give her a special shout out for the week. In our 1000 club, now this is PV. So the volume leader we did before, this is TV, this is team volume, but this is PV. This comes from your personal orders and your customer orders. So in the 1000 club, we have myself, Sammy, Christy, Emmy, Savannah, Natalie, and Sydney. The 500, we have Whitney, Mary, Catherine, Lauren, Michael, Sarah, and Carolyn. And every other name that you see up here on this board, you are contributing to the team's volume with your personal volume. So if you're an Emerald, kudos to you. You're taking advantage of that. You're getting a piece of that weekly in your team cycle, whether you're cashing out on it this week or whenever you have enough to cash out, you're getting that. If you're not Emerald, you're missing out on that because you're kind of generating volume and you're not able to get any of that unless you're an Emerald. So get your butt to Emerald. That's another reason why right there. So you can take advantage of that. Our May calendar is in the team page, so just look out for that. We've got some product launches coming up, and we're launching in France later in the month. So if you don't know what's going on, this is a good place to look to see what is happening. All right, so what's new? We have a new diamond coach, so congrats to Sammy Godosic for hitting diamond. Awesome job, super quickly too. And we also are, if you missed it last week, I'm doing 10-minute like mini lessons on Wednesdays at 12 noon in the, well, it was the Sweat Your Heart Out team page, it's the next announcement, but it'll be in the Rejuvenate team page. So if you missed the memo, Sweat Your Heart Out is now going to be referred to as Team Rejuvenate. I have been thinking about this for a really long time, and with everything that's changed in my life in the past year and just the direction that I want to take this team, I've made the decision to change the name. Sweat Your Heart Out was something I just kind of came up with on the fly like years ago, and it didn't really have as much meaning to me as this does. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm really excited to get to build this team with all of you guys, and I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. I didn't want to change the team page name yet because I didn't want people to be like, where did the team page go? So now that everyone kind of knows, things will slowly start to be transitioning over, but I'm really excited about it, and I hope everybody else is too. All right, some other things. Obviously, we know challenge packs are $20 off this month, so share that with the people who told you that money was an objection last month. Let them know that they're $20 off. They are doing retention points again, so if you are helping people get started this month, then you'll be able to earn retention points next month, so check the FAQ 2205 for all the details on that. We've got Mixed Berry Energize arriving in May, and I'm really excited about this. I love berry anything, so I know that this is probably gonna be my new favorite flavor. So this is something that you can talk to your current customers who get performance stacks or who get Energize about and let them know about the new flavor that's coming so they can update their flavor if they wanna try the new one. I'll probably get two. I feel like berry, mixed berry, and lemon would taste really good together personally, but it's up to you. Also, we are launching in France again, just a reminder to keep an eye out for that. And also they're doing like 30-minute, like kind of power hours, but for France stuff, kind of like how to start connecting with people over there. So that's on the champions page. So look out for stuff over there. Also, this gym bundle is a really great add-on for the month. So originally it's $100, but if they're adding it onto a challenge pack, it's $39. And the TV and PV on that is pretty high. I think it's like 70 or something because it's a $100 item, but they're only paying 35. So this is a great way to increase your volume, adding, like, not just adding it on and, you know, whatever, but talking to people about it. Or if you want to add it onto their cart and let them know, like, hey, there's this really awesome bundle for equipment. If you need it, I added it to your cart. If you don't want it, you can take it out, but I just wanted to share that with you because if you wanted it later on, it'd be $100. So that's another great option, especially for people getting the BOD all access. Maybe they want to do 80-day obsession. Maybe they want to do shift shot. Maybe they want to do lift 4 with the bands. Like, they're going to have all the equipment to bounce from one program to the next. So it's a really great option for them. All right, our social media shout out, and I see they're both on the call, is Sydney Reynolds. Here you go. I wanted to shout you out for this awesome social media post. Not only is the picture adorable and the lighting is great and you're filtering and all that stuff, you're doing awesome with that, but I just really love what you were talking about in this post and how you were talking about how you were learning how to build your business from home, like literally with your baby on your lap. And that is so relatable to so many other moms out there who think they can't do it, and you're sitting there making it work. And I just wanted to point that out because I think it's so important for everyone to realize that these things that we don't really think, like, I'm not a mom, so like I don't really get it yet, but I will someday. But I'm sure that you think that, as you're building this business, you're making it work, but there's a lot of people out there who think they can't. And by you showing up and showing them they can, like, you're painting that picture for the people that you want to have on your team. So I think that this was deserving of a shout out, and I wanted to give you a little extra recognition on the team call for that. Our transformation highlight is Sammy Motts for the 3-day refresh transformation this week. This is a demonstration of using our products and being proof that the products work. So I wanted to give her a little special shout out too. And like, that's a really amazing transformation in 3 days. Like, great job. The 3-day refresh.
I was so proud of myself. I stuck to it 100%.
Sorry, what?
I was so proud of myself because I stuck to it to a T, 100%, like no cheats or anything.
That's so hard.
Yeah, I was very proud.
Oh, you did a great job.
So thank you.
You're welcome. And our Level Up Tribe Award winner is, well, not winner, but coach, is Sammy Godosic for hitting diamond this week. I wanted to give you an extra special little shout out on the team call for leveling up your business and growing your team. So kudos to you. And anyone else you want to recognize, drop them in the little chat box below. We'll go through those. We can kind of celebrate everyone in the chat while I introduce our guest speaker. All right. So our guest speaker, Alexis Dash, she is on the call. We're twinning again today. Yesterday we were both wearing camo leggings, and today we're both wearing messy buns and headbands. It's just a thing. I don't know. But we were just talking about this today. Like, we've known each other for a while, but we were always kind of like we know of each other, but like, do we actually do you know that I know you, and does she know that I know her? It was one of those like weird situations you're trying to figure it out. But we had met or connected back in when I lived in New Jersey, so this was like freaking years ago, at a Philly Super Saturday. And she could probably tell you the story better than I can, but I am really excited to have her talk to you guys tonight because she's doing awesome things in her business. She is so fun to follow on Instagram if you don't follow her. I added a little accolade if you see it on the bottom. I know you didn't tell me that, but I added that one. But I am really excited to have her here tonight. She's got such a great energy, and she's going to bring the fire. As you can see up here, she's a lifetime 6-star diamond, 1-time premier. She is a Success Club 5 legend, hit Success Club 64 consecutive months. So there again, plug for Success Club. Do that, like, make it happen. It's important. She's also a 6-figure earner, a dog mom, and a shuffle master. And if you follow her, you'll know what that means, but she's just so fun to watch dance. So I'm just going to shut up and hand it over to you because I know that you're totally going to just rock this call. I'm going to grab my iPad so I can take notes, and everyone else should be doing that too. Notepads, pencils, whatever, however you want to take notes. I want to see everyone paying attention to our speaker and giving her your time. So thank you for being here. I'll stop sharing my screen too so that you can show your face when you talk. So
yeah. Hi, can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. Okay. So what's up, guys? I'm so excited to chat with you tonight. I love speaking on team calls because I just love this business so much. And I want to share a little bit, just small piece of my story for those of you who might not know who I am. Just because I feel like with any topic I speak on, but specifically this one, I feel like you can kind of understand the person that I was when I first started this business and the person I am now, and like person you see me on social media today is totally different. So I know with this kind of quarantine pandemic thing that's been going on, our businesses for a lot of us have kind of like blown up. We've got a lot of new coaches, a lot of new faces. So if you are either a brand new coach or you're working with brand new coaches or anything in that realm, or maybe even if you've been doing this business for a while and you're still trying to like figure out your stuff, I think it's just important to remember that we all start somewhere. And when it comes to social media, because what I'm going to be talking to you tonight is kind of like three separate things, but they all mold together. A little bit about inviting, but the fear of it and really what that comes from. I'm very much a like mindset person. I think that you can listen to 1,000 national wake up calls and people speak on team calls and whatever anybody says, but if you're not working on your mindset around the things, it doesn't matter. You can take a million notes, but if you're not working on whatever is holding you back, those fears or digging deeper onto why you're not doing the thing, whatever the thing is for you, making IGTVs, sending coach invites, it's just going to be a struggle. So, and then what I'm going to do, I have this really cool thing that lets me share my screen, my phone screen with you. So I'm going to finish the call. We'll talk about the fear of inviting, kind of a little bit about inviting itself, and then how I find people on Instagram. I know everybody builds their business differently, but I have built my business. I've been working this business for 7 years. I just celebrated my 7-year mark in March. And I have been, I would say 99.9%, maybe like 99.5%, all of it through Instagram. I was never like friends and family. I have no friends on my team, no friends signed up under me, like maybe like a few random ones, but I never was like one of those people like Christina Delgado that I feel like has her whole neighborhood on her team. Like I want that, but I've traveled a lot. So like all of my stuff has been on Instagram. So I feel like it's changed so much. And what I do now will probably be a little bit different. I've kept a lot of staples, but there's a lot of stuff in it. So I'm going to talk to you all about that. But just to give you a very brief breakdown of my story, I went to school to be a high school history teacher. So again, Carolyn, we just have like so many things in common. I went to school to be a high school history teacher. And like 4 months before I graduated, I was like, this isn't what I want to do. These kids are driving me nuts. I don't think I can do this. But I graduated, got my bachelor's degree. But 10 days after I graduated, I was living in Philly at the time. I moved from Philly all the way to the West Coast in Washington State, which is really weird because that was, I don't know, however many years ago, 2012. And now I'm living in Washington State, but because I moved back home. But I moved from Philly to Washington State with a guy I'd been dating at the time. We'd known each other for like a year. My parents didn't want me to go because I was kind of lost in the mix of being in an emotionally abusive relationship. And if you've ever been in a physically or emotionally abusive relationship, you know that you don't really see the things that are right in front of you. They didn't want me to go. I went anyway. And very quickly I found out it was very emotionally abusive. He was a big liar. All the things that he said were going to happen with our lives just didn't. So we moved I moved from Philly to Washington State, and then we drove down to LA, and we were going to move into this house, and it was going to be great, and we were just going to live our lives. And it was going to be awesome. And when we got there, the house that he said existed didn't exist. So I ended up being homeless, sleeping out of my car in LA for about 3 months, like showering on the Santa Monica beach in my bathing suit, brushing my teeth in Target bathrooms because we would just sleep in our car in the parking lots of like random grocery stores or Targets and things like that. And that was my life for like 3 months when I first moved to LA. And I was hiding it from my parents. Like I would go on Airbnb and like download pictures from the website and then send them to my family to make them think I was living there, but I was literally just sleeping in my car. And during all of that, going through a very emotionally abusive relationship, like super controlling, told me what to do, needed to know the passwords to everything, constantly beat me down, didn't make me feel good about myself. And I was also going through 2 eating disorders. I was dealing with bulimia and binge eating. And I was just like a hot mess. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I just like hated myself. And I had become, because I used to be this like the person I am now, which is what I grew up as, was like super extroverted. I want to talk to everybody. I want to be everybody's friend. And when I went through this relationship, I became like a shell of a person. And so this was all going down like the summer before I signed up for coaching. So I eventually got myself away from that relationship, still was struggling with everything besides that relationship. And in February of 2013, I was diagnosed with PCOS. So I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And it was the first time anything had ever like medically been wrong with me. Like I hadn't barely even gotten a cold. So I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. I don't know what to do. So that's when I kind of started to take more care of my health, post more on social media. And then that's kind of what brought me into Beachbody. I was just sharing my journey. Somebody was like, hey, you should do what we do. And when I joined, I was 40 pounds overweight, still depressed, still struggling with eating disorders. 6 months prior, I'd been homeless. And just like, I was a hot mess. So all these things I'm sharing with you are just things that I've learned, and know that like I started with all of those things. The biggest thing I share, and I always share this when we have like coach sneak peeks or workshops, and you can apply this either to yourself or when you're talking to other people, is that a lot of times we want to start something, for example, become a coach, once we feel like we have our life more together or we have the transformation. But it's not about waiting until you have everything together to become a coach. It's that coaching, and this is what I realized, coaching was going to be the thing that helped me get my shit together. So apply that same ideology to anything that you're struggling with. If it's inviting, because that's like the biggest thing, right? It's the one thing that we really, really need to do, but it's the one thing that a lot of us avoid. And maybe it's not regular invites, maybe it's coach invites or whatever it is. It's a thing that we avoid. But if you're struggling with like what that is, and I'm going to give you a little analogy in a second that is a little silly, but just like mind me, I just love funny analogies. But if you wait till it's like you have the perfect invite, or you listen to the perfect National Wake Up Call and they tell you exactly what to say, it'll be too late. And if you just fail forward and try and screw up and know that like that's a part of it, everybody always strives for perfection, right? Like if I can just be all in or perfect with this, then I'm going to be, or not all in, but like all or nothing, then I'll be really great. But if you look at any successful top 10 elite coach, they've failed way more times than you've probably even tried. So embrace failure with me, and I'm going to chat with you about that. Okay. So first of all, social media is meant to be social. So when it comes to inviting, conversating, building relationships with people, please remember that social media is meant to be social. People are sharing on their page for a reason. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, chat with people, get to know people, invite people, because it's there for a reason. And you can avoid the worry about being salesy and slimy and gross. I think the only way you can be that way is if you're like, message somebody that you've never talked to and you're like, buy Shakeology from me, you need to, I'm a gremlin under the bridge and I need all your money. Like that might be slimy and salesy, but I can promise you probably none of you are doing that, right? So like throw out that idea that you're going to do that. I always say if the intentions in your heart are good and you're sharing with people what you love and what works for you, if they take offense to that, you cannot take that personally because it has nothing to do with you. And if you're introverted, you have to work on that. Not that you have to become extroverted. I don't want you to think that's what I mean. But I had went through a period of, I hated people. I was like that person that like, just like, I was like, I hate everybody. I don't want to have any friends. I just want to stay in my house all day long. Now you don't have to become an extroverted person, but if you really struggle with the things in the business that introversion makes you struggle with, again, whatever that might be, talking on camera or whatever, you have to work on that personal development. You don't have to change who you are, but the more you work on that personal development and the more you get yourself outside of your comfort zone, you'll find that you can still be the introverted person that you are, but do the things you need to do to help you with your business. So let's talk about the idea of fear around inviting. So fear itself is really just a perception. What does it stand for? It's like false evidence appearing real. So if you think that you're not inviting because you have fear of inviting, I personally think that it's not necessarily the case. I think it's just the perception of, or the anticipation of what's going to happen when you send the invite. So you're not necessarily just simply afraid of inviting. You're afraid of what's going to happen when I send the invite, and that is failure. You're afraid that if you send the invite, a person's going to say no and reject you. You're afraid if you want to grow your team, or you want to just bring somebody in your challenge group or whatever it is you're inviting them to, you're afraid that they're going to say no. And then that means that you failed. But that's just not the case. So if you do something with me that I make my challengers go through the minute we start a challenge group, is I help them try to understand that they have to take away the power that failure has over you. And this is kind of what I do in my prep week with my challengers. When we're going through prep week, one of the first questions I ask them is, what is your biggest fear that, as you're tackling the next 30 days? And I would say 90% of the time, their response is, I'm afraid of failing. It's not like anything else in particular. It's always like, I'm afraid I'm going to start this and I'm going to fail. But failure is only a thing if you let it be a thing. It can't exist for you if you change your perception of it. So I say, okay, and I do like a whole video and I try to explain this to them. And I say, let's say you're in your first week of the challenge group. You start your program, you do 10 rounds and you're crushing it. You meal prep, you drink all the water, and then on Monday, the following week, after you just had a really great week, you end up like having a bad day and you drink a bottle of wine and you eat pizza. If you look at that and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure, I totally suck, this is the end, I might as well just spiral down. That's like if you got a flat tire and you just went and slashed like the other 3 tires. You would never do that, right? So if you just, and it seems so simple, but I promise you the more you practice it, it will work. But if you just say, instead of, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, like I'm a mess, if you just say, oh cool, that wasn't supposed to happen, but no big deal, I'm just moving on. You take the power away from failure. You make it not a big deal. So apply that same mindset to the idea of inviting and whatever it is about inviting that like really scares you. One of my favorite quotes is from Thomas Edison. And he says, when he was inventing the light bulb, he said, I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. So if you send the invite and someone says no, or you word it wrong, or you accidentally like use somebody else's name when you send the invite, all you have to do is say, cool, that didn't work. How can I figure out how to do it better? And again, I know this is so simple, but we make failure a big deal because we're always trying to avoid it and like figure out how can I not do this? How can I not do that? But if you're just like, failure is not a big deal. Okay, I sent the invite. Like, what's going to happen if you send a coach invite to somebody who really wanted to join the team and they say no, or they don't respond to you? Are you going to spontaneously combust? I don't think so. Not that it doesn't suck, but you just have to take that power away from it. And again, I know this whole idea of it is just really simple, but if you go onto Instagram and you invite 50 people and you just say, I don't really care if I invite all of these 50 people and they all say no, I'm just going out there to plant the seed. And that's one of my biggest suggestions when it comes to inviting and helping you get over the failure or the idea of failure is that whenever I go and I'm searching social media and I'm trying to build relationships that invite people, my goal is never to hear yes. That's never my goal. It's always to just plant the seed. I had about, 30 messages over the past few weeks from people that have literally said, I know I've ghosted you for the past 3 months, but I'm ready to join. And if I sent the invite to them, they ignored me and I beat myself up, thought about it for 5 hours, said I'm a failure, decided that I should probably quit because they said no, then I would have spent all of that time driving myself crazy when they were going to end up saying yes later on in the future. So you just have to think about the long-term picture of, okay, failure's not a big thing. Failure isn't even a thing because as you probably have heard 1,000 times, no doesn't mean no, it just means not right now. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so just very quickly, some of my top tips when it comes to getting past the fear. Number one, I'm going to say it, you've heard it 1,000 times, but there's a reason why. It's personal development. Don't 10x your invites, 10x your personal development. A lot of times we will think that like, oh, if I just like invite more people, I'll hear yes more. And of course, quantity is important. You can't invite 3 people and expect to hit Success Club. You have to talk to more people. But if you're not working on this, you're going to have the fear of failure. You're going to have, you're maybe read a business book that's going to help you at your conversations, whatever it is, like make sure you're 10xing your personal development versus simply just 10xing the actual behaviors. Also, daily affirmations are something I'm really big on. You've probably heard affirmations. I am confident. I am great. I am strong, whatever. I think you should start to add daily affirmations. I do daily affirmations every morning. I never go a day without them. But my affirmations include things that are around the things I am fearful of. If you are deathly afraid of sending a coach invite or posting about coaching as a call to action, you could make an affirmation, say all the other things you want to say, and always make sure they're in the present or past tense, never future. You never want to say, I will be confident. You say, I am confident. But say affirmations that go around your fear. So I invite to coaching like a boss. Day. And so even if those things aren't happening, sometimes we focus so much on the affirmations of other things, but I really think that if you say affirmations that are around the things that you're fearful of, I have no fear of speaking on camera. I hit Success Club 10, or I've added 5 coaches to my team today. Whatever it is, that can also help you with it. It might seem simple, but there's something in your brain called the reticular activating system. And it's basically like the scientific part of why saying affirmations repeatedly over and over and over again can actually help you take your negative blinders off, see all the positive stuff that's going on in the world. I promise it'll help you. And if you're going into a power hour invite session, like hype yourself up, put on like your favorite music and be like, I am the baddest bee. I don't know if there's like kids on here. I'm the baddest bee in the world. And when I invite every single person wants to join my group, or like I attract my tribe, people want, come to me wanting to work every day. So again, super simple stuff, but I promise you this simple stuff works. It's not like the crazy stuff that you have to like hammer into your brain. But anyway, okay. So something I want to mention, because I saw that there was a lot of new coaches. So even if you're not a new coach, you can still apply this to yourself or apply this to maybe your own new coaches. But I think another thing, and I know you guys are probably like expecting me to give you all these like incredible tips, but again, I really think the mindset around this helps you with the invites. You've heard how to invite 10 million times. You don't need me to necessarily give you the exact things. It's more of the other stuff that you might not be doing that you want to work on. So just stick with me if you're kind of like, where are my actual tips? So one of the things that I think holds people back when they're brand new, or maybe you could even be in this position if you're not new, is that you think, well, I want to help people, but like, I want to invite them, but how can I invite someone to something when I'm still so new at this? Don't I need to like have more, stuff under my belt? Don't I need to understand it? But you have to stop thinking that the minute you become a coach, all of a sudden you become like this Beachbody robot that's like, I am now a business person. I am a health and fitness coach. I need to invite people to my group. You're simply working on being the best version of yourself and sharing that with other people. So whether you're a day old or 10,000 days old, all you're doing is just sharing what is like absolutely rocking your world. So the way I invite now, 7 years full time into this business, is way different than when I was a brand new coach. But if you're brand new, share that. When I was a brand new coach, I signed a coach that ended up going top 10 in her first year and a half when I was a brand new coach in 2013. And it was because, she did the work of that, but signing her up came from, I was just sharing with people, I'm brand new. I remember when we would look back at our messages, I literally invited her by saying, I'm so brand new to this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but oh my gosh, it's so much fun. My confidence has grown so much. The community is really amazing. Like, I'm new to this, but like, do you want to do this with me? Because that's what I want to do. And that's the angle you can go at. Don't try to act like you have more information than you do. Say, I'm learning. Like, people love to be a part of growing something. So if that's where you are, lead with that. At this level, I can say, I've been doing this for 7 years. You know what I mean? So make sure you don't hide from, and that's how I am on social media. I hear that from a lot of people, and not like talking myself up, but I think it's important is that I am the same person on social media, on a team call, wherever. Like, if you meet me, I'm the same person through and through. And I feel like the more real and raw and authentic you can be, the more invites will become easier. Talking on social media will become easier, and you're going to attract people. That energy is contagious because you're not trying to be a health and fitness coach. Hi, do you want to join my accountability group? You're just like, bro, dude, oh my God, you have to join this group. Like, I'm a hot mess right now, but like, let's be hot messes together. Do you get that? Like, hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So last little point before I share my screen with you and share with you some like things about how I find people and build relationships and all of that, is I want to give you an analogy. I love analogies. I feel like the way my brain works, like I need them to like really understand things. But you probably heard your team, anybody that you're working with tell you, like, you might be even tired of hearing the words, just send the invite. Like, you got to do it. Just send the invite, which is true. But I want to share with you why we say that. So you can't figure out if you're good at something or if you're bad at it or if you need work until you figure out what you need to fix about the thing that you're doing. So inviting. So I want to use the analogy of making out, your first kiss, the first time you swap saliva with someone. I don't know when you had it, but like, let's just take yourself back to when you were in high school or middle school. I don't know when you had your first kiss. I'm not judging you. But let's just imagine that you haven't had your first kiss yet. And if you haven't had it yet, how in the world are you going to figure out like how to get good at making out? If you've never kissed someone, you don't really know what happens when you make out. You don't know, you like can't watch the inside of someone's mouth. So you don't know, like, should I turn my head to the left or the right? Like, where does my nose go? Like, how much saliva, like, do I use? Is this too much? Where do my teeth go? You don't know any of those things until you're sitting face to face with Bobby from math class playing spin the bottle at a house party. And then it happens. So some of you guys are in different boats. Some of you might be in the boat of it happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm way better at that than I thought. Like, this is great. Or some of you might be in the boat of like, was that good? Was that bad? I have zero idea. Like, I really don't know. Or some of you might be like, that was bad. That was terrible. Yes. Okay. I know that I should never do that again. I know what I need to work on. So this is the same thing with inviting. I can give you tips. The National Wake Up Call can give you tips. You can go through amazing training that I'm sure that you have. But until you actually do the thing, you're not going to know do you need to get better? I have heard people speak on the National Wake Up Call that talk about inviting, and I'm like, I would never invite like that. And then I hear other people that I'm like, I totally vibe with that. But neither one is wrong. It's what works for you. For me, I video invite only. I really don't do anything else other than record a video invite, and that's how I send them. And the way I talk in my invites, just the way I am, like, is a specific way. And I'm going to share that with you. But again, you don't know if you should try, example A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z until you actually do it. So I teach my new coaches this. Everybody goes through what I call beach body puberty. You have your own puberty. Maybe your puberty is like being really awkward on social media till you figure out yourself. Or maybe your puberty is getting past the fear of inviting. And so many people try to skip the puberty. They're like, let me just like figure out how to perfect my invite and make it perfect. And like this wording's here and this wording's here. And you try to perfect it so much because you want to skip the awkwardness and the failure and the trial and error to just get to the success. But the only way you get to the success is by going through the awkwardness and the puberty and all of the stuff that comes with like just getting past the fear of inviting. So that's the reason why you hear a lot us just say like, just do it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. So I do, like I said, everything on my, in my business through Instagram. Of course, over the years, I've like added some other things. But for the most part, let me move all of this around. Can you guys see my, wait, let me do this. Can you guys see my screen? Can I get a thumbs up if you can see it? Yes. Like my screen here. Yes. Okay. Sorry. So I do everything through Instagram. It's just what I've done. And I want to share with you guys kind of like how I find people. And I don't use hashtags at all. I use them when I first started, but it's not really what I do now. Not that it doesn't work, but the number one problem I hear people run into when they're trying to find people to start inviting, build a relationship with, is that I just find a bunch of Beachbody coaches. First things first, when it comes to that, again, told you in the beginning, I'm a mindset person. If you tell yourself, take two people, well, both are going to do a power hour. Both are going to try to find people to invite. The first person's like, oh my gosh, Alexis told me to like go find people on Instagram. I guess I'll go do that. But every time I do it, I just find a bunch of Beachbody coaches because the market's so saturated. Why in the world would you find anybody? Because you're putting out that negative energy of just like, I never find anybody. You're negatively, maybe you're not even saying positive affirmations, but you're negatively affirming to yourself what's going to happen. But if you take the other person, you're like, I'm going to find my people. I got my tribe. I'm going to find my girls. I'm going to find my people that I'm going to go on a retreat with when I'm a 5-star diamond. It's going to be amazing. You are bringing a different energy to the searching process than you are with person A. So please keep that in mind when you're searching through Instagram. Okay. So again, hashtags, I personally don't look through them that much unless I really find one specific. But in terms of just a small tip, and I'm sure this isn't anything new for you guys, but a small tip for using hashtags on your post to help people find you, you got to get specific. If you're vegan, don't use vegan as a hashtag because you're going to get lost in the mix. I like to help you think the best by saying, this is how I use Instagram. I use Instagram as Google. So if there's a new hair care product or a new lip balm or a new makeup product, and I'm like, I want to use it, I don't go to Google to like read the reviews. I go to Instagram to see what real people are actually posting about. So think about what are my people like searching for at 2:00 in the morning when they're looking for something. So instead of vegan, do healthy vegan breakfast idea or healthy vegan breakfast recipe. So the more specific you get on your actual like posts that you're posting on your Instagram page, that's going to help people find you because, not the only way, but a way that's going to help you build your business is by getting people to come to your page. You can't just post and expect people to come. So make sure you're getting really, really specific and don't just use like dog mom. Think about the things that like dog moms would look up on Instagram. Like I like using like dog and mom outfit or something like that, like something that another dog mom would use. Because think of it, a dog mom is not going to go through the hashtag dog mom. Maybe, but it's more rare. You got to think of what somebody else is using. But okay, so my favorite place to find new people to build relationships with, invite to challenge groups, invite to coaching, whatever, is the explore page. the number one thing I do, think about your niche, whatever it is. We'll just make it super simple and think about like workouts or like nutrition things. Is you can search through the hashtags to find it, but a workout or a nutrition picture that has a lot of likes and comments. So this could, well, this is aloe. Let's find like an actual person. So just to make it easy, so let's do what I said. So let's do vegan breakfast. So this is, I'm searching through the hashtag to find a picture, but not a person. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So vegan breakfast. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to look for a picture that has a lot of likes and comments. So this is an okay one. Let's find a little bit better one. I'm going to find like a person. Okay, perfect. She's in Germany, but whatever, we'll go for it. So this has 259 likes and 21 comments. I go where I find my people is in the likes and the comments of popular Instagram pictures, because people who are commenting on posts are usually active on Instagram versus just having an Instagram and liking stuff. And I just prefer to chat with people. And I, at this point in my business, not that I don't find people to invite to challenge groups, but like I can pretty much go through my likes and my comments of my own posts to find that, because I'm doing the work of networking. But typically the people who I'm looking for when I do this process are just people I'm gonna invite to coaching. So like I would go to the comments and then I'm gonna click through each person and just quickly look at their page. I'm gonna make sure, are currently not already a Beachbody coach or doing something else? Are they in the US, UK, Canada, or France? And do they look like they're my vibe? Would I wanna hang out with this person on the weekend? So I click on the person. So she's from Australia, but like this would be a great person to do. If I liked her page, I would write her Instagram handle down. I'd probably follow her, comment on an Instagram story, and then be done with it and then move on. And it's like a plethora of people that are vibing in the same way, because if they're commenting on that post, they probably have something in common. Like there's not going to be somebody who's really into cats, or cats and yoga, commenting on a person that's into CrossFit and dogs. Not that it wouldn't necessarily happen, but you get what I'm saying. So this sounds like another good person, but again, we're looking through a Germany Instagram, so try to keep it within your country, but you kind of see the idea. Again, if this was a US person, this would be a perfect example. I recommend aiming for people that have a similar following than you, or a little bit less or a little bit more. Don't be afraid to go after people that have a bigger following than you. I have about 19,000 followers. I probably don't invite too many people that have more than like 40 or 50,000, but that doesn't mean I've never invited somebody that has 100,000. It's just not, I'm not inviting hundreds of people with 100,000 followers. I'm trying to find people that are like in my same realm. So if you have 1,000 Instagram followers, I would aim for 1,000 or less, or maybe like 3,000 or 4,000. Again, you can invite more people, but this is really how I go through it. I go through the comment section, I go through the likes. Another really quick thing to do, this helps you with networking, but also finding people. And I do this and I commit to this every morning when I'm eating breakfast, 15 minutes a day. If you do this, you will grow your Instagram, you will find new people. But the only way to grow your following right now, unless you're willing to pay for ads, is organic reach. It's getting your hands dirty in social media and not trying to, again, skip the puberty of hoping people come to you. You have to put in the work. So the other cool thing is if you click on the likes of a post, and again, I always just do it with popular posts. If you look at the list of people, it's literally so great. Instead of like a hashtag where you got to click on the hashtag, click on the person, click on their page, you can just simply kind of go through this list. And if you notice, as you guys know, if you use Instagram, whenever it has a pink ring around the picture, what does that mean? It means that they have an Instagram story. So I literally just go through and I only interact with their Instagram story and I move on. And this helps me do really quick networking, as well as if I like their page, I'm going to write their name down and then go interact with them, which I'll talk about in a second. So let's just do this. So I click, well, first thing I might do is check her page really quick. Again, I was going through a German thing, but like click on her and then I would just engage with a story. So then I only click the people who have an Instagram story. Again, people who have an Instagram story are willing to post on social media. They're engaging on social media. Doesn't mean that I can never invite people who are private, because I always recommend doing that with your likes and your comments. Every morning I go to the likes and the views on my Instagram story, and I video invite at least 10 people. And I video invite private people, doesn't matter who they are, as long as they're not already a Beachbody coach in the US, UK, Canada, you get it. Because one of my coaches who signed Brittany Powers, who's been like top 10 like 3 times, her page was completely private and now she posts all over on social media. So never not invite private people. This process is a little bit different because you're trying to get to know people. But so I would just go through and then and I'm just doing this super quick. But like that girl said she was in Miami, so I could comment, be like, oh my God, I used to live in Miami, something like that. So, and then I just go through the story, and it's easy because you can click on the story and then Okay, I'm done, swipe. And you can just easily, quickly go through the next person. And you can do that with a health and fitness picture. You can do it more specifically with your niche. Or for example, I'm getting married next year. So like DIY wedding centerpieces. So you want to think specifically about what is your niche searching, what is your niche doing. So again, I can go through this same thing and find like you can either go through the pictures, or something else you can do is like go to a popular Instagram that is similar to your niche. So the Knot, people who are getting married. So what I do every so often is I'll go to the Knot and I'll go through their recent posts. 2,879 likes. I'm going to go through. These people are probably getting married, maybe not all of them, but what I can do is go through, and like a lot of times it depends on what you're doing, but like if I'm going through a wedding blog page and I'm clicking through people, and I will go through, sometimes when it's like this, they don't always post stories, but I'll go and I'll find people. If I see them post about anything wedding related, I'll go comment and be like, oh my God, girl, I randomly came across your page going through the Knot. Like I saw that you're getting married. We're getting married in October. And just like, when are you getting married? Because what that does is people are either going to be like, who is this random person? I'm not messaging you back. Cool. Don't care, because failure's not a thing. Or they're going to message me back and be like, oh my God, super excited. And those are my people. I'm okay if the people ignore me because they weren't my people. You have to weed through those people to find the good ones. So that's really the main way I find people. And I find people all the time. The likes and the comments of the explore page, of popular Instagram things. Like if you're doing like a house or bathroom remodel, or if you just got a new job or you moved to a new city or whatever it is, think about what your people are searching and then go through the popular pictures of that page. I promise you, it just makes it so much easier. And then of course, we're about to launch in France. So every single day, I'm already following it, I go through French pages and things like that. So I follow Lululemon France, but like you can go through the hashtag like Lululemon or Weight Watchers France or different things like that. And again, I find the easiest way, because you could go through the Lululemon France hashtag, or you could go to a page that has a lot of likes and comments and go through that stuff. And then really from there, and I can share with you a video I usually share when I do this call, because everybody always asks, and I'm happy to answer any questions, but I know I talked for forever. I tend to do that. I'm sorry. But I make a list of those names, and then what I do is I keep, because I use Google Streak. I live and breathe and die by it. I have zero idea how anybody runs their business without it, because like I use it 24/7 all the time. I have a webinar I did with my team. It's a 2-hour webinar. The reason why it's 2 hours is because I sit with you and I make you go through each step. So by the time you're done, you have it set up and you're golden, versus like, oh, I keep needing to remember to do it. But I keep track of all of my people on Streak, but the only time I add them to Streak is once I've invited them and they've expressed interest, or they told me that they're interested. Nobody else goes on there. But what I do is I go to the notepad section of my phone and I have my people that I'm dating. These are people that I try to do it every night. I'm not always the best at it, but I just keep these lists of people. And these are people who I found through that process I just shared with you. I copy their name, I put them in Instagram, comment on an Instagram story, like some of their pictures, move on. And I do this process with these people for about 3 weeks. And then after 3 weeks, I send them a video coach invite. And I will show you, and I'll leave you with this, what my video coach invite, because I literally just recorded one. So you can see this isn't the best one. Oh, I don't know if it's going to show. Can you still see my screen? Can you see my like face right there? Yes. Okay. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work.
Like a straight up hot mess, but I just wanted to shoot you a message. I've been wanting to message you about this for a bit now, but I don't know, and I've honestly been nervous because I don't know how your feelings are towards it. But I've been doing online coaching for about 7 years now, and not only do I work my business, but I help other women get started in working theirs. And I don't know if you already do something or if you've been looking into doing something, but I feel like everything you share, everything you post, the way you show up on social media, I'd love to have somebody like you on my team. I'd love to talk to you more about what it is we do. I even have like a little workshop going down next week and a webinar on Wednesday, but I'd love to talk to you more about what exactly it is. Get to know you a little bit better, because I know you might be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and I really think that you got the thing. But anyway, you let me know if you might want to chat about it, because I really do think you'd be amazing.
So usually I have a lot higher energy. This was like late at night, also my boyfriend was in the other room, so I was like keeping my voice down. Usually I'm like the loudest person ever. But that's the kind of invites that I do. And I send a similar invite in the morning to all of my likes and my views. I will message people who are viewing my story. And I go through and I send an invite that's like, girl, what's up? I just was going through my Instagram story randomly and I saw your name pop up. And I don't know, sometimes people are afraid to reach out to me because they don't know about how my groups work. And I don't know how long you've been following me, but I would, and maybe you're just following me because I have a cute dog, but I'd love to tell you more about my group. I have one coming up next week. We work on community and mindset and all these other things, blah, blah, blah. So you get the idea. And that's kind of how I invite. I'm FaceTiming with my best friend versus, hi, I just wanted to let you know that we're having an accountability group. It's going to be really fun and you're going to get workouts and nutrition. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? I know a lot of people keep it simple, but like I like to create FOMO and like get people excited. No one's going to be more excited about joining your group or your team than you are. So you got to be like jazzed and share the reasons why you're doing it. So I do that process I shared with you, finding people. I add them to that list in the notepad section of my phone, copy and paste their name, interact with them for about 3 weeks, and then I send them that video invite. Now, if we haven't had much of a conversation or they've completely ignored my messages, I won't. But if they've been responding, I've been, chatting them up, I send that invite. And then I repeat that process over and over and over again. So that's all I have for you. Sorry that I talk for 500 hours, but I hope that it was helpful in some way.
No, we're still good on time. It's not 500 hours, not quite. I love that you talk fast like me too. I always feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. Nobody can keep up, but from Philly, so you can.
Right.
That was awesome. Does anyone have any questions? I don't know why my screen's so big. It won't let me. Oh, I'm in full screen. That's why. Anyone have any questions? You can unmute yourself and ask.
So the process is fine. Write name down, react to a story, and then you send them a DM immediately. No, so I know some people do right away. The only people who I will invite immediately are people who are already in my bubble. Because back in the day when I first was working this business, I feel like I could cold invite, like I could just message people. But I know a lot of top coaches that cold invite all the time and it works for them. It's just never really works for me. If somebody does not know who I am, I try to build somewhat of a relationship with them. But if somebody's liking or viewing or commenting on my stuff, to me, I like to use the example of, it's like you owned a Starbucks and the person kept coming in to use your Wi-Fi but never bought a coffee. They're probably less likely to buy the coffee unless you go up to them and say, hey, I've always seen you in here. Like, would you like to grab a coffee or something like that? So if they're in your bubble, don't be afraid to invite them. I will invite people all the time where we've never had a conversation, but they view my story every day. So I send the invite, a direct, invite that way. But like the people who I'm doing that process of finding and then inviting, I aim for 21 days. And then they're on that list. And then I'm always adding new people to that list because some people stop responding. So I delete them or whatever. So that's kind of how I go about it. Hey, immediately or no DM at all. I try to just comment on the Instagram story and that starts the DM. And I always try to ask a question. That way they're more prompted to send a response. Because if you just say something, usually they're going to double heart it. But I always find that people who respond, I'm immediately like, yes, because there's a lot of people that only heart it or give you a thumbs up. If they respond, I try to, talk more with them because they're my people, because they're at least responding to me somewhat. So. And one other little thing I wanted to add is that sometimes, especially if you're a newer coach, you might be worried because you're like, the number one worry I always hear from new coaches is like, I want to do this process, but once I invite them, I'm afraid that they're going to think the whole time I was getting to know them is just because I wanted to send the invite. And I like to say it was. But you're not scamming them. You're not inviting. If you knew Shakeology was if they drank it, was gonna make them lose their hair and crap their pants, then yeah, that might be kind of bad. But my goal is to invite those people, and I found them on Instagram, and I do want to invite them because this has absolutely changed my life. Why would I not share that with somebody? So don't worry about sharing these things with people and inviting them and just being real with them, because what you're sharing it because it's changed your life, not just because you want to make $1. And if you can remember that, it'll just take that pressure off you a little bit. And like I said, I can send you my Google Streak webinar, because I don't really get to talk about it, because if I did, I would talk about it for another 4 hours. But I find that it really helps after that process with the follow-up system. There's a lot of Google Streaks things on YouTube, and I feel like I'm the only one, not that I'm fancy or anything, but I'm the only one really like helps you understand it, especially within like this whole process and the inviting and the follow-up, I feel like it helps make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm sure that would be helpful.
Yeah.
I don't know how people live without Streak either.
I did for the first year and a half of my business. And then once I did it, I literally like went from diamond to 2-star in like 3 months. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Anyone else? No. I was scanning through to check. Anyone listen? Because sometimes people are like trying to talk and they're muted and they don't know. All right. Doesn't look like there's any. I didn't miss any in the chat, but thank you so much for all of that. I've got a bunch of notes for sure, and I really like what you said about the anticipation when you're talking about fear. Like when people are afraid to invite, it's not like who cares if they say no. Like it's not the end of the world. It's just like what you're anticipating. You're not actually afraid of the action. You're afraid of like the outcome of the action. I think that was just like a really great way to put that, because it's most people don't see it as that. They just, I'm afraid of this one activity, but it's not that activity. It's just what you're anticipating to happen. And so what if it happens? So
yeah. And that's why if you can focus on that, because if you just focus on I'm afraid of inviting, it's going to consume you. But if you're like, let me take a step back, what am I actually afraid of? It's not the invite, it's what's going to happen. But let's look at what's going to happen. Am I going to die from this? Is it bad? No, it's only going to help me. And if you just say, I'm here to plant seeds, I'm not here to hear yes. Like I'm never here to hear yes ever, like ever. I'm just here to plant seeds. Those seeds will come to fruition later on.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't have any other questions, we'll end this call, but I'm going to see you in like 10 minutes anyway, right? For your team call. But thank you again for being here. We really appreciate you taking time out of your night to chat with us. I'm sure everyone's got some awesome things that they can implement in their business now. Very actionable call. And I'd love for, if any, after this call, I'm going to post the recording in the team page as usual. I'd love for everyone to put their takeaways from the call and what's one action that they're going to do tomorrow that they learned from this call. Because I don't want you to just hop on a call and be like, that was great, awesome, and then like not do anything about it. So taking action on what you're learning is super important. So when I post the recording, I want you guys to comment and drop your feedback below, just like we do for the National Wake Up Call every week. Same thing. We're going to do that for this call. All right. And before I forget, let me share this again, because our call next week, we're having the Queen, Milan Jensen, is going to be speaking at our team call. Those of you who don't know Milan, she's like one of the very first coaches in the entire network. She's our like great grandma coach, and she always loves getting to talk to our team. So if you are not free next week, find some time to make some space for this call. You're definitely going to want to be there. She's amazing, and she's like the sweetest human being ever. So hope to see you all next week, but that is about it. So thank you, Alexis. I think she's gone already, but I'll see her in like 10 minutes, and I'll see you guys next week. All right.